So how to use Flashscore effectively for infallible football analysis or other sports. That's what we're going to look at today in this video. So first of all, thank you for all your messages of thanks regarding my AI Pronostic tool, who uses artificial intelligence for your studies. And also thank you for all your messages. I am flooded with messages about my analysis on me. So I hope you are doing fine. I hope you managed to analyze well tennis and especially Roland Garros. So as I told you in previous videos, Roland Garros is a goldmine for me. Analysis, and I plan to do a few more videos on the theme, because I know that many of you ask me for advice on sports analysis about the tennis matches, especially let's not forget Wimbledon is coming soon. So it's mid-July, I believe, from July 10. So stay right till the end of the video, as I am going to give you 3 things to absolutely watch out for on Flashscore. And that 99% of users they don't. First off, leave a comment about what you use to watch statistics. For matches, what is the favorite site according to you, especially if you are starting in match and statistics analysis? Don't worry, you need to train. At the beginning, I was not really making it, completely lost in the flood of information and the mass of statistics. And believe me, with a lot of work and a lot of motivation, where we can do very fine analysis. So we find ourselves on Flashscore, we're going to get to the heart of the matter, and we're going straight to Saturday's match. By the way, I'll do you tomorrow a video specifically on match analysis. I am going to get there, the analysis of the Manchester City versus match against Inter Milan. We are going straight to this match, so you click on it. In fact, there are really 3 important things to look at when you analyze a match and use Flashscore. So the first is to look at the news that is here. Hop, you go to news, you can right click to translate, of course, because it's in English. Well, I'm going on flashscore.com. I don't know if flashscore.fr. Do a test. Yeah, it's better in French though. So why watch the news? Because quite simply, you're going to have news that will certainly be important to consider account. And it's true that Flashscore gives you a direct summary of all the match news, and you're going to be able to see if it can weigh in the balance one way or another. Is it going to favor Manchester United? Or on the contrary, is it going to favor Inter? So first article, for example, Guardiola can definitively silence their arm-sleeved critics. So in terms of the title, it can be seen as an extra boost of motivation. So of course, I invite you to read the article to find out if it's going in this direction. But logically, he is really motivated. This would also silence the last doubts about the Spaniards' right to be ranked among the greatest coaches of all time. And so you have related articles every time. Only victory in the Champions League will satisfy us. So the same great motivation from Guardiola. We need to finish the job. So you even have an article about the last match. I didn't anticipate to be that much superior to Real Madrid, so he didn't foresee his team dominating over him as much. I clicked on Champions League, and you have all the information on the Champions League. We have the information about the final because there's only 1 match left. So you see there had been a doubt about the referee. He's the referee who refereed the Argentina-France match in the World Cup final. He also finds himself in the final. So there's some sort of scandal about this Ardo because he would be close to the far right. So I'll let you read the articles. Who says close to the far right? They say perhaps more inclined to favor the Italians than the English, because you know that the Italians still have this reputation of having groups at the racist towards the supporters, which is much less the case in England, or at least they are less virulent. Same old, one might think that this referee could be subject to corruption, and there have been many more corruption cases in Italy. In England, even though Inter has never really been targeted, it seems to me by corruption stories. Plus Juventus and AC Milan, but nevertheless, it's still a factor to consider, especially since you can tell me what you want, but during the final of the Cup of World, the first penalty at the very beginning of the match on Angel Di Maria, there was no intervention from Lavar when there was clearly not wrong. Angel Di Maria dove in the box like he already knew there would be a penalty whistle. It reminds me of the story of Barcelona with Suarez, who was falling in the area and were a penalty. Well, finally, tell me in the comments what you think about these 2 matches. Was it rigged or not? But in any case, there are still strong suspicions. So you see, I click again on the Team of Champions here. I come back to the level of some articles. So it seemed to me that we will look, but on the English site, there were more articles. Maybe I'm wrong. Yes, that's right. There are more articles in English, so I advise you to watch in English anyway. Finally, you just have to right click and translate. So you see, we say, for example, well, literary from Milan, they have problems. So you have to look, you have to read the article. And actually, when you read the article and you say, it's clearly because I've already written it. In fact, it's just about investment funds, capital, money actually. Really no problems, like injured players actually. It doesn't really come into account with respect to Inter. Well, that's the first thing to see is the news. The second thing to see is that you go to draw kit. What's really important is that you have the whole story of the Champions League with the different matches that have unfolded before. And like this, you can see, did Inter really dominate its opponents? Did Manchester City has truly dominated its opponents neutral. What's interesting is to see these teams that we're going to play away, because clearly we're going to play away, because there will be as many Italian fans as English fans. So it's more interesting to watch what we do, teams when she was playing abroad. So actually, you just want to click here and you see the results of the different matches. So when Manchester City is mentioned second, it means it played away. So here, you see there was a match, 0. We had controlled ourselves. There, you see that against Bayern, there was a draw. You see that against Real Madrid, there was a draw. So in fact, she has had 3 draws away, so she hasn't really dominated the matches. Away teams, on the other hand, she did it at home. And when we look at the Inter. The Inter drew against Pogba. Inter won 2-0 against Benfica. Inter won 2-0 against Germany. Here, it's Milan. So on this balance, on the balance of away matches, Inter is clearly ahead. So I know what you're thinking, me too, is that Manchester City is at a whole other level than Inter. So of course, they don't face the same teams, but in any case, it still gives a certain trend. So that was the second thing to look at. And the third thing to look at on Flashscore, it's planned, which is here. Why preview? Because you have important points, important stats, and it summarizes a bit of that, the different important points you need. You see, what they highlight is that the citizens are much more recent visitors. It's translated from English from the final, because they are for the second time in 3 seasons trying to do better. Do you want the 1-0 loss against Chelsea? So they have a lot more. Usually they're into the finals and you know they're going to win at some point. They're not going to lose every time in the final. So you see, they're repeating the stat that hasn't been very good away, but they've scored a goal almost every time. And you see, he was telling us exactly the same thing we saw earlier. Indeed, Inter has been better, particularly in the win against Milan, but they have lost 3 of their last 5 matches against English opponents, including at home against Liverpool last season. And last season, they went out in the first round. It's true that Inter wasn't expected at this level, so Inter has a very, very good defense. That's what they're saying. They managed to keep their sheets clean, meaning their goal unbeaten. And finally, they've got the players to watch out for, especially if you're betting on the scorers, as they mentioned Erling Haaland and Romelu Lukaku. And from Romelu Lukaku, and you see, they tell you the last 3 Champions League finals were decided by a single goal between the 40th and 60th minute. So this can also give a little idea of how it's going to unfold, the match. So it's true, if you think there might be an over in this match, it could happen. Being possibly risky. Anyway, I will make a video for you tomorrow about Manchester City Inter. I'm going to give you my opinion on this match. Don't forget that you have a totally free Telegram group in the description. You just have to click on the link where I give a lot of statistics about the matches. See you tomorrow for a new video. This was Prono Matthew. Bye.